Hi everyone, this is Scott Bywater, and I wanted to talk about something from a conversation I had recently with a client who had a lot of skills. So they were a service provider and they had a lot of skills, and they're like, hey, I can do this, I can do this, and I can do this. And the offering they had, I thought was a little bit vague. So, and I think there's a lot of service providers who are in this sort of position. Hey, Peter, how are you? And where they've got so much, so much to offer, and it's like, where do I focus? And I said, the place you need to focus is you need to look at your clients first, and you need to look at, likewise, Happy New Year, Peter. And you need to look at where is the actual pain point for your clients. So, because if you find the pain, we will all pay good money to relieve pain. So if you suddenly today came down with this massive tooth pain, odds are you would go to a dentist and you would happily pay them $500, $1,000, whatever it took to get that tooth pain fixed. Why? Because it's causing you pain. So the real key as a service provider is to look at where the pain is in the marketplace. And the only way you can find the pain in the marketplace is to go out and ask your customers what's happening for them, what their frustrations are, what their concerns are, what are the things that are holding them back. So what I would look at doing in order to do this is to go out there, and whether you've got an email list, whether you've got friends on Facebook, whether you just have to call your customers and ask them, but ask them, what are the frustrations that you're facing right now? And if you get a reasonable subset of people to answer that, you're going to find out where the pain is. You're going to find out, that perhaps the pain is something you hadn't even thought of or hadn't even considered that they're actually facing and they're dealing with. Because what we will do, or what we get paid the most money for, is we get paid the most money for solving riddles. So, a tax accountant who can work with a big company and save them, $1 million a year, will get paid big money for that, because they're solving a riddle and not many people can actually do that. And that is really the key. So what I'd encourage, if you're in a position where you're like, hey, I've got so many potential offerings, I've got so much to give, I'm not sure whether I should focus on this or whether I should focus on that, or where I should actually invest my energy and my time, then what I would suggest is to go in there and basically start to ask your customers what their frustrations are, and let them tell you how to actually look at positioning your business and structuring your offering so it really cuts through, to the marketplace. Because that's what's key. The key to actually cutting through to the marketplace and getting the right offering there, because then you can build a funnel which really cuts through. So let's say just hypothetically, you're a coach and you're marketing, to women, and, all the women say, oh, I'm frustrated because, I'm frustrated with my career and I want to get out of my job and I want to do something else. Well, then you can structure your positioning as sort of, some sort of a career change expert or something like that, rather than being, something generic such as a life coach or whatever. And then you can have very specific tactical offerings based on that as well, based on stuff. Because what we've got to do is we've got to initially, you don't want to be selling broccoli. You've got to sell, something which is attractive to people, and then move them, towards, all of the deeper things. So, and what I mean by that, just to give you an example, so it might be that you make an offering of, the one simple thing, you can do right now to get clear on what your career is, for example. And then someone might go in, they might download a report, watch a video, etc., etc. And that brings them into your funnel where you can get someone's time. Because the key is, right now, if you're watching this video, I have your most important asset, and I'm totally grateful for that, which is your time, because we're all limited on time. So we need to structure our positioning where it appeals to people, where we win their time, where they're willing to give us their time. Because if we can, it's a very different world of marketing now than it was 10, 20, even 5 years ago. And people have a preponderance of proof. So if you can win their time by structuring things like that, appealing to pain points is critical. So getting really clear on what's my customer's pain, making an offering which is very attractive, a front-end offering to get them from their Facebook feed, never having heard of you, not knowing you from a bar of soap, to actually, coming in and downloading a report and really, and giving you their time, and maybe joining your email list and following you on Facebook. And all of a sudden you've won their time, you've got their time, and you can move on to the next stage of the process. But what we can't do is have generic offerings. We can't have generic offerings that are unfocused, that are plain, that are, hey, I'm a business accountant, call me, or I've got this this generic accounting course. What we want is, we want to dig in and we want to find out that my pain point, for example, is that I don't know how to do this specific part of the of my accounting. And you can drill in and you can say, you can hit that really directly to where someone looks at it and they go, oh, finally someone gets me. And the only way you can get that response, that finally someone gets me response, is if you take the time to dig into the head of your customers. Because if you take the time to dig into the head of your customers, then the next stage is, because you've taken that roundabout way of doing things, when people actually look at your advertising material, they go, oh, this guy gets me. He's not just treating me as a number. He's taken the time to actually understand me. And then once you do that, your marketing message can really cut through and get to where you want it to go. So if you're in that service provider type of business, step one, just as a recap, is step one, go through and ask the questions. Ask your questions to your customers about what their biggest frustrations are. That's step one. Okay, so once you understand their frustrations, step two is to go through those frustrations and look at the commonalities, and then create an offering which is very specific to bring people into your funnel and give you their time. And the only way to get a new client is if you can get their time. Because if you can get someone's time, you can win their trust. And if you win their trust, then people will decide, to do business with you, because we do business with people that we trust. Anyway, that's all for now. I hope today's been useful. Any comments, questions, or whatever, well, put them in the comments field below. And thanks for tuning in.